And voila! Here we are. Yes, we are. Are we here? Is it sound good? Looks kind of dark here. Maybe I should up the. I need more light on my screen here. Hopefully there is sound. Display settings. Let's see here, brightness. Yep, that's okay. It's not that. Yeah, it's quite light. I saw last time that everything was very yellow, so I changed some lighting today. But I see I have to remove the yellow light bulb, lights because it's way too yellow light in here. So welcome for the ones who have tuned in. It's like 5 likes already. That's great. Give me a thumbs up. It's very important because what? Hello, Snapper. It's very important for the algorithm. I will just do some work on this portrait, and you are free to ask me questions about painting and life and existence and everything, I guess. So I will just do my work and see if anyone needs some inspiration or something. Remember, as I say, to give it a thumbs up. Also, after the fact, it's very important for the algorithm. I have so huge problems getting into the algorithm. So it's also because I probably have commented too sharply on YouTube certain things that if something annoys me, I usually tell what I think, and it has a price, sadly. Is the sound okay? Good evening. Beautiful Sunday. Yeah, it is. Is the sound okay? Tell me, and I'll go closer to the painting as I keep doing. But as I can even thank you, Irene. That's great. You always give me money. Almost feel embarrassed, but thank you very much. So nice of you. It's really nice of you. Don't have to do it every time. The sound is good? Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah, what I'm doing now is basically, I need to hang this here. It's kind of a problematic, a little bit problematic portrait. It's a beautiful girl, but there is not much, there's not so much in the face. It's quite reddish and stuff, so I have to work with nuance, a lot of nuance, and yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I actually do have these things that I can have here, but I thought it came a little bit too close, but I can try it next time. So yeah, if you have anything to ask or anything, so please do. Let's see, Amalie is here. My girl is here. She's called Amalie Russell. Say hi to her and go to her YouTube channel and sign up. She needs. How is it looking now, Amalia, on your channel? How many hours do you need to get totally monetized now? Is it 300 or 400 or? Actually, today my eyesight is a little bit out of whack because we were exercising so hard. Oh shit. Let's see. Well, I can actually see I'm getting more response to my comments on YouTube now. So my ban is or they let my comments show, so I'm getting more notifications. And that's a good thing, because the thing is that if people report your comments, and people are so, I would say they are so, um, they go so fast to getting insulted that it's hard to have a conversation about anything anymore. So, yeah. Anyway, I need 200 hours, only 200 hours. Wow. If somebody want to go to my girl's YouTube channel, Amalie Rusaltnes, and just put on some of her long videos, or her her playlists, go do that. She only needs 200 more hours, and she get monetized. Actually, she is kind of monetized, but and her videos are way more beautiful than mine. she's even now just up a few videos. She's way better on movie making. So yeah. Anyway, if anybody wonder how I do skin tone, especially in this where it is a lot of, oh, there is so many. Suddenly I'm getting a lot of comments. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know how I do skin tone. They can ask me that. In this one, it is basically I have this yellow called Naples Gel, Naples yellow, and I use it with Alsarin, and usually it is actually Vermeer, and I can mix around this, and I use my ultramarine to make the yellow green, or I use the Alsarin or the Vermeer to make it more against the red, and then I can take more yellow into it in different yellows, and then kind of lean it more to yellow again. So skin tone is just the same as anything. It's just a bunch of different colors put on up against each other. And here actually the shadow is a little bit bluish. It's a little bit too much. Maybe you don't see what I'm doing now. If you want me to go closer, just tell me. I will do a little bit far away first, and then I will go closer and closer to it as I go along, but I can also move it closer if anyone want to see. And if somebody's new here, please give a thumbs up. It's very important. As I told you last time, in the last when I did some ads to get more followers on YouTube, and it basically worked in a way, but it actually backfired, because when you use ads, you do get real subscribers. It's not that some subscriber farm in Bangladesh or somewhere that is just a scam. It's actually real because it's Google Ads, but it backfired in the way that these people are probably a lot of people who just add channels and then they never go back, and then people starts to dump it again. So since I did that, I got thousands of new subscribers, but then suddenly I started to lose more subscribers every day than I gained, and that tells the algorithm that your channels is not popular, and my views start to tank. So whatever you do, if you have or you are starting a new YouTube channel, try to grow naturally. Do not use ads because it will probably kill your channel. Maybe in the beginning to get over that 1,000 threshold or something, or 500, but I would just grow naturally. So that was a mistake. I used $1,000 on that shit, and it just backfired. So yeah. So Irene, what are you painting these days? And Snapper, when are you going to make yourself a YouTube channel? With your American dialect, you will do very well. Been saying that for years. He's making landscapes, and also some figure paintings. They look quite good. So yeah. I think it's smart. I see now because I'm aging. So as now I actually start to see that I'm getting older. So more wrinkles on the hair from the side, and it looks like shit. You know, it's like making yourself a diary, like people who work in films and stuff. They can actually see themselves age, and yeah, it's kind of fascinating to look back on my old videos and I say, wow, I looked so clean. It's crazy. No, what I do when I'm building out here, but she has very young skin. So I want to build textures, but I want to build them slowly and try to keep that beauty in the skin, that young skin. So I usually work in directions like this, and I kind of mix the colors on the canvas. I probably do both, but it has become a very, should we say, a very intuitive process now. So yeah. Okay. So write in the comments. Oh, it's a slump. Right now, recently lost my painting mentor. What? You lost your painting mentor and also put my dog down. Oh shit, that is sad. I never got over that one. Putting the dog down is not nice. It's a horrible thing. So a bit of depression lately. But who was your mentor? Who was your painting mentor? Was he better than me? I saw Amalia told me she saw this survey, and there I totally disagree. People were asked if they was going to choose between saving a child or saving their own dog, they will choose their own dog, and I totally disagree. Human beings are always more important than dogs. So I wouldn't feed my dog with a child, to put it that way, but I would feed the child with my dog. And I hope most people would do the same. So, but we start to love these dogs, and I didn't really notice that much before I actually had to put him down, and it happened like that. So I didn't get any warnings. Really, it happened in one day. He just woke up and he couldn't pee, and he was like 13 years old, and I chose not to give him an operation, and I regret it to this day, despite knowing that it was the right thing to do. So yeah, his name was Richard. Richard. Oh, he was work. He has work online. Okay. So why do you lose him? Did he die? I'm gonna check him out. Yeah, Richard F. Copello. Copello. But I think you have come so long when it comes to your paintings. Anyway, you do very nice still lives and stuff, and I don't really think you need a mentor. And if you, there is enough mentors also, you just have to open a book like a Rembrandt book or something like that, and you basically have all the information you need. Of course, having some people who can actually inspire you and stuff, it's a good thing. But in the end, we have to inspire. He was 83. 83. Well, it's not bad. But I hope to live until I'm gonna live forever. So what did he teach you, or how did you talk with him directly, or uh, oh, see now, yeah, oh. This is a commission work, and I should have finished it a long, long time ago. And I'm now just trying to finish old works and clean my room, as Jordan Peterson say. Now I think Jordan Peterson have become quite weird lately, but he's right in this. And if I should give, as I did in a video, advice to artists, is to say don't spend your money, because having some money or keep not spending too much gives you a lot of freedom. And don't have too many unfinished paintings in your studio. Like me now, I think I have over 20 huge projects, and I'm already past them. I really want to start new ones, but I can't do that. I just need to spend at least a year just finishing old works, and maybe start a few new ones just to get some fresh air into the studio. But I just need to start focusing on especially commission works. And this one I already got paid for also, so I should have done it a long time ago, and I feel really bad actually not having done it. Yes, I would paint in the studio and learn from watching. Paint a lot, like how much I learn from. Uh, mm. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, you can ask me, but I think you'll come to a certain point where you just need to paint. And I think things will for you need to paint and think about brushwork and study brushwork. There was this girl from Iraq actually yesterday. She asked me some questions about priming, and then she asked me some questions about drawing. And of course, I sent her links to some of my videos where I explained some things. But as I said, if you want to become a better drawer, you just basically have to draw, and you have to draw objects and faces and stuff. But the most important thing about the painting, I think it's how you build brushwork, because that is what makes the surface come alive. I can see the thing people do wrong when they paint is that they use the same textures all over, or the lack of textures all over, or brushwork all over. So you have to, like in the background, I do brushwork, but I keep it down. I keep it down, then I build it out in the light areas. Then I try to build the cloth here a little bit different from the skin, and then I have to build the rose a little bit different from the cloth again. And then, so you have to differentiate all the different textures from each other to make a painting who actually feels natural. And I will also say that you have to use the color circle and the primary colors to create paintings who are alive in the colors. We have the Norwegian artist Odd Nerdrum, which has basically quit using color, and his students literally suffers under this because they are not that good with textures and brushwork. And Odd Nerdrum can actually keep his paintings afloat, but just by his beautiful brushwork, which I think would be way more beautiful if he used more color, like Rembrandt did, and the Impressionists and people like Vermeer and other classics. They were Impressionists long before Impressionism came into being. So if you want the surface to live, you have to use complementary colors. You have to put them up against each other and just make it kind of boil over. So yeah, that is my opinion about that. I guess I could talk about that ab nauseum. Also, I feel like brushwork also show the process. It kind of gives life to the surface. Didn't I say that? Yeah, I did say that. So Amalia, how is the shape after the hard training today? If you're still there. I had to rest for a few hours. We got beaten the shit out of ourselves today by Said, my crazy Iranian trainer. Luckily, he's an atheist. And he actually loves that Trump is bombing the mullahs of Iran. My Iranian trainer was in prison in Iran because he was against a regime, and he managed to flee to Norway. And he hasn't been able to contact his family lately, naturally, but he is for the bombing. And now I just hope that Trump actually removed the regime, because if he stops and let them survive, it will only be even worse for the population in Iran. So hopefully he pulls through, and I'm gonna forgive him a little bit of the debacle he'd been doing with Putin and Ukraine. I'm so disappointed in him when it comes to Ukraine. But if he removes the mullahs of Iran, he has actually done more for humanity than most presidents that has been presidents since Reagan, actually. Yeah. What the hell did Obama get this Peace Prize for? Being black? That was weird. Very tired from training. Yeah, he beat you up, and I have to stop him because your eyes just turns gray. Oh God! Did you get anything done? Actually, actually, I had to sleep and eat and stuff, but now I feel kind of
Yeah.
energized. I feel energized. So, see now. Okay. It's only neons, and it's so difficult. Look at that arm. Isn't that beautiful? Uh, that arm looks muscular. I lost some weight lately. I started to get fat again, and I needed to change my diet. So I'm getting my energy back. I just needed to go carnivore plus greens to get into ketosis again and just basically live off fat burning. It's the best thing for me because my ADHD is just off the charts when I eat sugar. Sometimes me and my girl have too much popcorn, like Friday, but and then we suffer from that for a couple of days. But beside that, I try to stay away from carbs. And if you have ADHD, I would recommend strongly to stay away from carbs and try to study ketosis and the carnivore diet. You don't. I eat some greens because I like it, but I don't eat nearly as much greens as I used to. I basically live from some fish, 4 eggs a day, and meat, and a little bit of avocados and olives, and maybe some small, crispy, thin breads. Just and I eat some berries actually. So I'm not totally carnivore, but I try to lead a very low carb diet. Also, I don't eat much fruit anymore because it made me. I ate so much fruit for a while that I started to get metabolic syndrome because fruit is sugar and it's not that as healthy as we actually are learn to believe. So now I'm not talking much about painting here. So if you wanna lead my mouth until painting towards painting, you just ask me a painting question and I will rant about painting. So yeah. Uh, okay. Here. Yeah, this is just a start. I have to kind of push down and give it more natural hairline and stuff. But, you know. uh Also, the photo is a little bit out of focus, and that can make it a little bit more difficult. But it's fine. Okay. Uh-huh. Maybe I should go a little bit closer. Yeah, I think I want to go a little bit closer to the painting so I'm actually easier to see what I'm actually doing. 'Cause, Maybe here, something. There. Just tell me if you want me to go even closer. It's no problem. Oh, battery is running low. Damn. I thought I just. Oh, it's the battery on my computer. Okay, I need to put some electricity into it. Oh. Just 1 sec. Yes. Actually, I can see I get a better perspective actually in the filming when I have the camera a little bit lower than usual. A little bit lower. So I just need to put in some electricity. There's anyone new people starting to watch, please give a thumbs up. And yeah. So here we are. We need some more electricity. There, it's good. Okay. So cheers with my coffee. I think I will be rolling for 1.5 hours. So it would be really nice if people just started to ask me questions because that's why I'm here. And if you are new here, please go into my channel and give a thumbs up on other videos too, and on this stream, of course, because it's so important for YouTube to know that people like my shit. Yeah. So, do you see when I'm standing here? Am I in the way? Like this? Oh, it looks good. Yeah, okay. Now, number 9, give a thumbs up. Yep. So we'll just work with the different. I need to make it translucent, as you say. Need to first I put in some darker, and then I just go over it with and try to create some kind of translucent here line, and just add some more color here. It's a back and forth process that I could almost do forever. There's no limit, I think, to how far you can go. And as I always mention, that German painter, Philip Weber artist, when you see how far you can actually go with detail, and he used to be a photorealist, but then he kind of took it one step further and he went into and started painting the pores in the skin. Of course, he's using very realistic, very clear photos to do that. Digital photos. These are done from tungsten film 6-7. So they do not have that clarity. It has more paintedness to them. So, but I have no ambition of becoming a photorealist anyway. It's not. I love brushwork and the process, the spontaneous process, way too much to be that detailed. But I would like to have some of it, because uh, I don't want to. I don't want to do paintings that is just a lot of brushwork and hide behind brushwork. I also want to have detail and basically a mix between Vermeer and Rembrandt. If you can. Uh, so, 6, 7. People are popping in and out, I can see. And as I say over and over again, if you'd like to ask questions, feel free. I should write it in comments. I was going to do that. To write it in comments. Yeah. Okay, I want to do something with the ear. See the ear behind here. Also, it's not smart to actually paint too much here now. I won't paint this way so I don't mess up. If I painted here, I would just, because usually some people are using this staff or stock or whatever. In Norway, call it a stock or to balance. They kind of have this long thing and they put this on and they lean their hand into it. I usually just use my pinky, put it here, and like this, and I just do the work. So. But if I paint here, I will just mess it up. So that's why I like to paint this way. Usually from left to the right. Because I'm a little bit more right-handed than left-handed, but I do write better with my left hand, or more, it looks better. Actually, I don't write better because I'm a dyslexic, but at least my handwriting looks better. The blacks I use are ivory black and blue black. And it is because I like to do a lot of blue and yellow and reddish neons when I paint. So the blue black has some. It's actually a mix between ivory black and ultramarine. So yeah. Yeah, now I actually started to work here. We should have talked about it, I guess. But it's only neons now. So I come to the point where it basically becomes a never-ending story. Uh-huh. Give it a thumbs up, everybody. Is that better? I don't know. I think I took it too much down, so I need to get it up a little bit. So, Sunday stream. Oh. Yeah. Ah, it's called a mole stick. Like Darth Maul in Star Wars. A moles. Okay. Didn't know that. It's cool. So we're gonna get a new dog. Well, maybe it's early. You have to swallow the fact it's like if I move back to my home Iceland, Kalmay, I would like to have a dog there or two because it's the country and they can run relatively freely. So, uh-huh. So, but it's a lot of job to have a dog. Uh, so it's like having a child that never really grows up. So it's like having me as a child, me as a son, a child that never grows up. My parents have now protected me from myself since I was born. So, and now I guess I don't know how long my father has to go, but it can't be that many years. And my mother has been smoking for, I mean, how far is it? It's like since she was 12 or 13 years old. So she probably spent a lot of her good genome on keeping her alive despite all the smoking. So soon on. It's time to grow up. It is really time for me to grow up. No new dog yet for a while. The loss is tough, yeah. Jack lived to be 18 and a half years. We had a lot of years together. Yeah, it's horrible. Don't know if you've seen my dog, the dog I had on YouTube. Not on Facebook, but it was a beautiful dog. And he, like 13, I'm not sure because I got him as a, he had two owners before me and he was very dominant. So I had to teach him who was boss, to put it that way. I had to go a little bit rough on him a couple of times, but when he understood who was boss, he totally submitted. But he only submitted to me. He was kind with humans, but he didn't listen to them. So he would have if it wasn't for the. I wonder if maybe he got some kidney stones or something, and that is why I kind of regret not giving him the operation because maybe it was just kidney stone and they could have fixed it, but the vet thought it was more serious, like a intestine thing or something, and it's hard to say. And when a dog is 13 or 14 years old, they will be so affected by the operation that I didn't think it was. But I mean, 18 and a half year. That is a long time for the. What kind of dog was it? Coffee, coffee, coffee. By the way, what did your teacher teach you? What did he? What was his advice when you were painting? What was his approach to it? see now. Uh, just yeah. I'm kind of hung up here now. I should just try to move down a little bit because there's a lot of to do here. Also, the shadows has to be a little bit deeper. Uh, it's kind of burned out. That is a problem. Here it's very yellow, and it looks good on the photo, but it's very hard to do in real paint because it's so limited. Uh, Gorgy Jack, Gorgy Jack Russell. I just have to Google that. I guess I don't know. Mine was a mix between Portuguese sheepdog called Estrella and maybe some. I think there was some Rottweiler and some. What do they call these golden retrievers? I painted a golden retriever, by the way. Yeah, I think there was some golden retriever and some mix between that and some Rottweiler stuff. So it was a very nice mix. And if I want to get a dog, I would get a big dog again because I want a dog who can actually protect me. So, Jack Russell. Jack Russell. Google it, for heaven's sake. I have my phone here. My phone. Jack Russell. Gorgy Jack Russell. Gorgy. Core. G. I. Gorgy. G. Jack. Corgi Jack Russell mix. Oh yeah, they are so cute. Actually, I want one of these and a bigger dog, maybe a female in this type and a bigger male so they can't actually, make babies. Because they are running around like crazy, it will probably run around like nuts. A little guy, yeah. It's kind of they are running like crazy. I can actually my brother has something that looks like this. I think that's a Jack Russell. I really want. Call Jack. But they are very healthy and hyperactive. They're crazy hyperactive, I heard. So that is why I would like one of these small ones and one big one. So the big one can be exhausted by the small one, and the energy of Jack Russells are just crazy. I can see the one my brother has. It's just some spinning helicopter. So. The good thing about the small dog like that, you can actually bring it on a plane and stuff like that. So it's easier to travel with them and stuff. Actually, I started to take the bus when I travel now. I actually enjoy the 8-hour bus ride because I kind of become quite stoic from it. I don't know how to. Okay, now I'm trying to do some neons here. So, do you have anything you wonder about when it comes to painting? I actually seen that a lot of, I haven't seen that before. I see a lot of painters on YouTube actually are using the same tone on their canvases before they start painting now. I don't know if that was something they learned from me or something. But I mean, yeah. And this Gazelle or whatever you call it, I don't see the point with that because it just go right into the substance, both in the color and texture. So see absolutely no point to paint a sketch twice. First without color and then with color. How do you make it look so easy? Do you struggle when you paint? Do you feel it goes slow? I struggle too. I just try to, I have learned, what I've learned is not to stress, because if you touch it and touch it and touch it and correct and touch and touch and touch and touch and touch, it will become something sooner or later. So you don't need to stress with it. Um, but also, as you getting better is to be able to look into the future and know that when I put on some brushwork, I actually can see, okay, this will work like this in a few layers or stuff like that. So that is actually why it gets easier. So like everything is like basically you can see it as chess. You start out and you don't have no idea even to where you're going to put the pieces on the chessboard, and then you just start to understand. Okay, this goes this way, this goes this way, and then you start to learn from losing basically. And the same thing I've been doing here is just everything I've learned when it comes to painting mostly is failing. But I didn't know why I failed until I understood the thing about brushwork and the thing about kind of not making it too. And that is a problem I see also in my paintings. Sometimes they become a little bit too plastic. I feel they are kind of has some plasticity to them, and they lose this organicness over them. I will paint, feel like, well, I'm in learning mode too. Not even close to where I want to be. So it's always something. I feel sometimes I just feel like a fraud because it's not really that good, but it's good enough to fool the untrained eye. And sometimes, if I'm out of time or stuff like that, I have done compromises that I should never have done. I know deep inside that this could have been way better if I had focused my time better, if I have many times things I could do. And when I kind of know that I could do more, I always feel like a fraud. I don't feel like I live up to my own potential. And the way to manage to do that is two things. You have to get better, of course, over time, but you can't get better unless you do it. So it is time under tension. It's basically like building muscle. You 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 have to have time under tension, and you have to do repetition, and you have to learn the muscle memory, and you have to kind of just uh, and then in the end it gets easier and easier. So yeah. Also, I love the motion. I love the back and forth. It put me in this dancing mood anyway. It's very nice. So just paint. Just stop. And some people actually are so attack themselves so much that they get paralyzed because they can't get it right, and they get paralyzed by it. And they shouldn't do that because it's a learning curve, and nobody came into existence and could do anything. And don't talk about it as a gift, because it's not, it's a skill. Nature gave you some inherent potential that you can take to an absurd level if you focus your time. There's nothing more that there's many things that pisses me off, but when people tell me it's a gift from Jesus, or, or as one said, from Allah, you just pick your superstition, and because it actually to degrade all the work I put in. If this was a gift from God or the gods or whoever you happen to believe in, it wouldn't actually be me doing the job. There would just be me being giving this on a silver plate, and then just and no, you have to. And also the word talent. I made a video a while ago about this talent thing. When people tell you, "Oh, you have such talent, I could never do this," it's bullshit. And I never believed in that, because I knew that from I was a young kid, I was doing both boxing and karate, and I became good at it because I loved doing it, and I put in the work. And also, when I was a welder in a shipyard, I was actually, I've heard that after the fact. I'm going to talk nicely about myself. To to this day, they talk about me, and it's over 30 years ago, that I was a very, very good welder. And I learned myself to weld with both my hands. So if there was a weld behind there, I could use my left hand and I could use my right hand. So, uh, was that a gift from Odin? No, it was a skill, a potential the human, in my human, human potential. So people needs to stop this self-deprecating thing and looking at art and say, "Oh, I could never do this." Well, if you don't start, you can never do it. If you don't put in the work, you can never do it. So if you are telling me that you would never be able to do it because you wouldn't be able to put in the work, then I would actually agree with you. So yeah. So this, like they say in Stoic philosophy, or Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics say, to finish something, you first have to start. And every day I have problems getting started. Also because I have ADHD and hypomania, and I can burn myself out. I basically burn out my dopamine before I start. I'm going to start painting. So when I'm going to start painting, I'm already burned out. And it's a thing I have to fix. When I was in prison, actually, that fixed it. I woke up in the morning, I was working as a carpenter and painter, and then I did my workouts 4 times a week. I ate healthy, and I was drawing and writing and doing some painting on the evenings. So what I need is a good schedule to, and I need to start doing the work painting from the mornings so that I actually put all the main energy I put into my painting. And when I paint, I get more energy. I don't get less. I get more horny. I get better in, I get a better. Yeah. People who can't chew gum and walk, and then you have 5 years old kids and play a instrument. Well, somebody put that kid into that music school. And I would actually believe that if there are people that can't chew gum and walk and I doubt very much that they would have the brains to send their children to some music school anyway. So I don't think that is true. Well, there are small genetic differences, but I can look at my own parents. I have my hypomania and ADHD from my mother. I have my emotions from my mother. I have my father's masculinity and aggression. My father isn't good talking about emotions. My mother is overly emotional, and I'm basically the extreme of both. So I got my brother is more introvert and has a harder time talking about his emotions, and he didn't inherit my father's uh, aggression. So he has done very well in being a leader in companies, and he has been doing very because he's very intelligent. But he chose wrongly on many other levels. He, in a way, have lived a life that isn't really his because he's done so many compromises to help and be there for other people. May I have been a total egocentric asshole, and I look back on things I've done and said. It's just sad, actually. But I learned my lessons, and I became a better person. So uh, I think, hopefully, I don't. I do think that any human being can become a great musician, great in sports, great in art, great in anything. Can they reach the highest level, the absolute highest level? Do we need some kind of weird, hyperactive, neurotic brain with an extra drive to bring it to the max? Maybe, but we can't really know who it is because I've seen people who are brilliant as an artist and they are have a low Q. They aren't extroverts. They don't suffer from ADHD in the same way. Yeah, but they have this hyper focus in them. And what you need is probably hyper focus. But if you do something you like, if you really like it, if you don't like painting, if you don't like to play the fiddle, You shouldn't pay the fiddle. You should play something else. So if you don't like to play music, you shouldn't do it. You do something else. So I don't think humans are that different. I think we are basically more alike than different, and I think also that's also a problem that people say everybody's different, and I happen to disagree. We are not that different. You can actually also see people with narcissistic personality disorder or BPD or whatever. They all do the same thing. It's a cliche. People who are religious and believe in their religion, no matter what religion, they believe equally strong in totally colliding things, and they believe in the same way. There's no difference in the way a Muslim believes in Allah or a Christian believes in Jesus. It's exactly the same thing. And I mean, there's no difference between the Vikings believing they were going to Valhalla or a Christian believes that he's going to heaven if he falls down on his knees and give his life to Jesus. So we are basically the same. There's no real there. You see, when people start marching, it's like they used to joke with if you play horn music for the Germans, they start to march. But you see that all over the world. You see the same genocide, you see the same evilness, you see the same kindness, you see the same creativity, you see the same things make people happy. People love in the same way, people hate in the same way. So no, I don't think we are so different. And I think everyone can learn to do anything. And I think this notion that somebody have more of something than other people is a way to keep people down. And I also think artists, especially modern artists, are extremely occupied keeping up that illusion. Because if you can keep people guessing and ignorant about all the bullshit they make, it's easier to get financed or to get galleries or to get high status in the art world. And the art scene is full of covert narcissists who are using it to feel good about themselves. It's not about the art, it's not about passion, it's just to get attention. It is being an artist and getting some galleries to tell everybody that your bullshit is great must be the greatest narcissistic supply there is next to being religious and believing that the universe is all about you, which the religious actually believe. And the truth is, we are all apes and we're all gonna die, and there is probably nothing after there, and we just have to do the best we can. When my dog died, I actually dream about my dog. Since you lost your dog, and I dream about running in the woods with my dog. I dream about meeting my dog in Valhalla. I don't believe in Valhalla, but in my dreams, I dream that my dog is in Valhalla and basically hunt and fight with the Vikings. I've dreamt that. Doesn't mean it's true. So yeah. So again, this survey, people would rather save their own dog than other people's children. What do you think about that? What would you do? uh, there's only 9 thumbs up. I would appreciate if somebody would actually give it a thumbs up. If you pop in here now, I've been doing this I'll do it for another 20 minutes or something. So if you have any questions about painting, please ask. Because now I've been ranting about philosophy and stuff. I'm not that focused when I paint now. When I do more detailed work, I have to kind of slow down and go deeper in. But when I do streams like that, I can just kind of do some groundwork. And but when I'm gonna do detail, I need to do it with some music on, or that is very nice. I think it's very nice to have music on when I paint usually, because it puts me in this dance mode. I feel music gives, when you have something with rhythm, you should have something that actually takes your attention from too much attention, because it actually kicks you out of the flow. But if you have some music that put you into the flow, it can be really helpful, because the rhythm and music will actually make your brushwork better, will make the creative process go more easily. So I like to listen to music. I also actually like to listen to audiobooks and science and stuff like that. But when I go really deep into flow, I usually stop listening anyway. So it's better to have some music on. Uh, so now, also the shadows very thin. The shadow coming down exactly there. And, arm has gotten quite big actually. Oh, oh God. Oh, shit. Can feel I was. I actually got a new date for my hip replacement, hip adjustment. I have two hips and I got a new date. One of them is loose, so I got a new date. It was 13th of May, but I don't want to spend my summer on crutches, so I will wait to do it until fall, and then I will just get this foot fixed. Then I will feel even better. So, okay. See. If I focus a little bit more. There's also a jewelry coming down here, but I will put that in when I got all the other things in. So I should maybe I should do some streaming flows where I put on some audiobooks or something, and I just do brushwork. My girlfriend actually bought some. She has some place she can actually get music that is not copyrighted, and has some ambivalent music in behind, and just not talk, just paint and flow. Maybe that's better. And yeah. So here, yes, this here. I liked about. I've seen some. There's a documentary about Lucien Freud, one of my favorite artists. I just love his brushwork. It's so raw. But you see, when he took color, he took it like he just grabs it, and it's basically what I do, just not that much. And he kind of grabbed his paint, and he just did like this, and this, and just kind of grabbed impressions and just put them down there. And that is why he has these very beautiful, rough things. And there is any artist you follow and watch them paint? No, no, actually no, no. I was looking at Andrew Tisler. I have been looking at some more actually on charcoal drawing and pencil drawing. I find that to be a little bit more interesting. I was looking at Tisler and a couple of others, but I think there's something too plastic with his texture. And then he started to talk about his religion and start talking about doing it to celebrate the creation of God and stuff, and he just lost me in that. I just couldn't listen to it. But I think he's a good painter, but it's especially when he do, I think his landscapes are very nice, but there's something missing. I think I think it has to do with his religiosity. He's not a realist. If you're a religious person, I think there will be a limit to how realistic your brushwork can be, because there's a link between seeing realism and your beliefs. So I think being religious can actually stop you, because you don't see the world in a realistic way. And if you don't see the world in a realistic way, you won't be able to do the necessary deep introspection, which again makes you see the painting and the textures in a very clear and realistic way. And this doesn't mean that you're not losing any beauty or any love or anything, because you don't need to believe in afterlife to love or to have morals or have anything like that. So I think Andrew Tisler, which is a good painter, I wouldn't take that away. I think he's a better drawer actually than painter. I think there's something with his brushwork that I don't like. It's too plastic, especially in his portraits. But then again, I've seen a lot of charcoal drawers and people who draw on Instagram and YouTube, and that is extremely impressive. And I do actually look at that German guy, Philip Weber artist, but that is not to learn how to paint really. It's more to get inspired by his extreme focus and skill to be able to stand his ground and do that extreme work. I'm kind of more impressed by his patience, that is his paintings, if you know what I mean. If I want to see more brushwork, and so I just go to Rembrandt or to Vermeer and I just look at those paintings and I get basically all the information I need, and the rest is just to keep painting. And but I think you need a certain amount of realism. If you look at people like Leonardo da Vinci, he was a realist. He wasn't religious in any way. Rembrandt was also. Of course, they had their beliefs, but at that time they didn't really have a choice because it was the only thing they knew. So, but they weren't. They were realists. They weren't. Kind of, the mind wasn't clouded by delusions. And I think to take it to the next level, you have to get rid of your delusions. You you can't believe in Bronze Age fairy tales and get your brushwork to uh, to the max. So probably piss off a lot of religious people. This is not even a theory. It's a hypothesis I have, but I see it in relationship to how an open mind, open and self-critical mind, sees the world and himself compared to the person who is living in delusion and don't really see himself and the world in a realistic way. And I'm pretty sure also, I think a lot of religiosity leads to a certain kind of narcissism in that they start believing that they are special or chosen or have the right idea, and that life and thinking becomes very rigid and stuck. So yeah, I think yeah, uh, that was a long tirade for a simple question, but yeah. I also think there's this American realist. I do, of course. I do get inspired by a lot of good art. You know, I see these short videos, and so I do get inspired. But I don't think I. I think I have the most thing I can get better at now is things I will learn by just doing it more and increase my skill by my own failures or overcome my own skill wall, because we all have our skill wall and will always have a skill wall. It will just become less and less apparent for the untrained eye. But the more trained your eye will be, you just keep moving the goalpost, as they say. It's like when you have reached this, you start to see, oh shit, there's a mile more to go here. And then you think that over there you have become, oh, now I'm whole. But then you see, hey, it's even not even close. So it's basically like the Greek myth of Sisyphus or whatever, who rolls up that stone, you know, and then it just rolls back down. I have to do it all over again. And now, in my case, of course, you move it maybe to the next, you move it to the next hilltop, which is even longer. So, uh, yeah. I think the moment that you understand the value of brushwork and you start to see yourself a little bit more realistically and start to be really self-critical with real introspection, you become a better painter just by thinking about it. Uh, so basically, you have to die before you can start living. And when you stop believing in an afterlife, you die a little bit, because and you have to face the reality that your life is short, and there is no happy ending, really. So yeah, that's my opinion. That is, of course, my opinion. It's not something I have proven. It is just some thoughts I have, because I can see, I can go back and see how incredibly naive my worldview were because before I got some real introspection, and I started to see the world more realistically. And then, despite seeing the world more realistically, I wasn't finished. I learned so much since I became 50, and I had to go through all the hardship by going to prison for that stupid weapon thing. My stupidity. I broke the Norwegian uh, gun laws like 80 times or something, because I rebuilt replicas and had this as a stupid hobby, and I had to pay the price for that. And brought me, it killed hubris, sent me into a situation of having to revalue everything. I break down hubris, really, really. The last, hopefully, it's the last time I will experience uh, losing everything, but you never know. Suddenly, you get terminal cancer, you know. Like, you don't know. Memento mori. Also, I think when you are religious, the sting of death disappears. So you really don't, there's no hurry. You don't need to strive because you're going to go to some theme park afterwards anyway and keep doing it. So I mean, yeah. I wonder what, if the religions were true, I wonder what would entertain you in heaven forever. It's like Christopher Hitchens did say. He was moist when it came to not not experience the future, and not see his children grow up and stuff like that. But then again, having to go to some theme park in heaven and be happy because God says so also sound like hell to him. And I don't know how it could actually work. How could you be there forever? Could you actually say, I don't want to do this anymore? Could you just leave? Could you, or do you have to? I have no idea how. When you start thinking deeply about heaven, it just sounds exhausting. I'd rather live forever on earth, do this, because I could actually live day to day for infinity without any problem, because I have actually things to struggle with, I have things to do, but going to some party who never ends, it sounds like hell to me. Uh, Even us non-religious people who know there may not be an afterlife still have hope in the unknown. The not knowledge keeps. No, not I no, not for me. I am deeply convinced that there is no afterlife. You shouldn't say 100%, but I would say there is no way that we can survive infinity. Also, as we also, maybe the only thing I could say is maybe there is something in quantum physics. We do know that there has been an infinity of universes before our universe came into being. We know that we are a product of 4 billion years of evolution, and I'm standing here as a consequence of a blind process triggered by the laws of nature. But as I say, can God commit suicide? That is a good question. Can God commit suicide? Do God have to exist forever? And how can he do that? Was he there before the universe? In that case, where were he? Were he floating around in some other universe and then magically restarted this universe? And did he create all the human suffering, as the religious people say, to test our faith? You know, did he create a universe that looks like nobody created it, so he can send us to hell for not believing in it? Do you really want 72 virgins after you blow yourself up? Do you really want to go to Valhalla and drink with the gods, fight and rise up again every morning and do the same thing over and over again for infinity? I can't see how it would work. In Buddhist heaven is basically being unconscious in a pool of hot water and just feeling good forever. But that sounds also hellish to me, because nothing happens. So no, I think the best existence we could have is the one we have now, where we have struggle, where we have to do our best, and we basically have to choose life over death, because I didn't choose to. I didn't choose to come into existence. My parents chose it for me. Or not even that. I don't even think, if you think about it, you are bringing a child into a death row. When you create a child, you are bringing a child directly into death row, and many of them don't even live to see their 20s. I have so many friends that died early from my childhood, and what was the point of that? You know. So, but I also lean to Carl Sagan, who says this beautiful thing that we are a way for the universe to know itself. And consciousness is the only thing that matters. And it is. Consciousness is beautiful. We are the brain of the universe. So, in that way, it's really beautiful. And then it becomes equally tragic that we are not going to live forever, because this beautiful thing called consciousness just died, and it's sad, really. So living in for infinity sounds like very long, but if I should choose between living for infinity and not living at all, and I couldn't choose otherwise after choosing one of these two things, I still would choose living forever, because consciousness is the only thing that matters. So yeah, it's weird. So, but you never know. Maybe there is something in the quantum physics. Maybe the goal of the multiverse is to create consciousness. Maybe it's a huge quantum computer who are trying to make more consciousness out of matter, and sometimes it sadly creates Adolf Hitlers and narcissists and psychopaths, and the process is not perfect. It's like trying and failing, and when we die, we merge with some cosmic consciousness or something, and we understand everything, and we feel great. You never know. Can hope, but I don't. For me, death is the final word, and it doesn't really matter, as we say in one of the philosophers say, in Stoic philosophy, or some philosophers said, well, we can't experience Since we can't experience death, death doesn't exist for the living. And for the dead, life doesn't exist and death doesn't exist. Because if you are dead and you don't experience everything, death is not a problem. Death isn't a problem if you don't experience it. And if you experience death, you are still alive. So hey, who cares? We don't even have to think about it. We just live. Try to do the best of the time we have, and then just be. Death comes to us all. There is nothing we can do about it. We can prolong it, we can live healthy, we can do creative work so we give it some meaning, but we'll never be able to do anything about it. We can also, there are a lot of medicine coming now out that will prolong our lives, maybe indefinitely in the end, but the universe will collapse. Sooner or later, some accident will kill us. So some freak thing of nature, some black hole blowing up, or some new universe popping into existence in the middle of hours and then wiping us out in a millisecond. So there's so many things that can happen. I'm ranting now. So yeah, that's interesting. But I think to live the most, you have to live in reality, not in some delusion about something. I think religious people are robbed from actually living realistically or actually fully living, because if you don't see reality as it is, you can't really be totally alive. So the tragedy is that if you live in a delusion, you might be happy, but you won't have depth. And when you see reality, you kind of lose meaning, and you have to create meaning to feel at least good while you exist. So yeah. And painting gives me meaning. Engaging with people gives me meaning. Looking at the sunrise or sunset gives me meaning. Looking at good art gives me some sense of meaning. Of course, it's a delusion because it doesn't have any real inherent living meaning. But at least it gives me a positive distraction, so that I don't have to face the horror of uh, the objective meaningless of our short existence. Yep, that was a lot of philosophy for one evening. I actually was wondering if I should make a sit down video about this, about how religion might affect your painting and the value and of being a realist. But I need to think a little bit more about it first. People will say, "Oh, look at all the religious paintings in the world and stuff," but the people who painted these religious, beautiful paintings or art weren't necessarily religious. Many of them were actually hidden or covert atheists, like Michelangelo and um and Leonardo da Vinci and these people. They were covert atheists. They couldn't come out with it back then. They would have been killed or put in jail or something like that. So yeah. Even the Greeks were doubting the existence of their own gods. So anyway, I think I'm going to close down now. There are not so many people who actually ask any painting questions and stuff. So if anyone now has a painting question, now is the time to, or any question they want to have answered, now it's the time to do it. My arm hurts from training today. Yeah. The End of Faith. That's the book of Sam Harris, actually. I think Sam Harris are going a little bit crazy when it comes to Trump. I do agree with him about a lot of things he's saying, but I think he has become very, very much biased about him. But anyway, I think I just close down now because people aren't asking questions, painting questions anyway. And I've been lasting now for 1 hour and 40 minutes. Now, I give it a minute maybe, so you can ask. If anyone asks, I will answer. If not, yeah, okay. Thank you. Did I make sense a little bit? Did you see? I mean, death doesn't matter. Death doesn't matter because when we are dead, we are dead, and when we are alive, we are alive. It's the two things doesn't matter. I used to go a lot to the graveyard when I was drunk, and I was looking at graves and telling myself how tragic it was that I was wasting my time on being drunk and hungover and stuff like that. And now I'm going to just show you, almost out of battery actually, show you a little bit of what I did here. You see that there's not so much to work with. It's actually a little bit more yellow in reality, but as you can see, there's a lot of stuff to do here to get that smoothness and everything. And this is totally out of I had to paint it a little bit out of focus. So, but it will be fun. I'm looking forward to painting the hands actually because they have very nice skin tones in them. So yeah. Okay. Thank you for being here. And as I always say, remember the thumbs up. Leave a comment. Here's the photos, by the way. And if you see this in hindsight, I actually have somebody want to go to Patreon and sign up there. You can do that. So thanks for the super chat, by the way. It was always nice of you. You don't have to do that every time. You're also a patron. So, I mean, okay. Then I will just close this down. That is funny, Ooh, that's infinity. Look, it's infinity. Okay, till next time. Have a good one. Good night, everyone. Everyone. Stop.